Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Exploring My Minecraft World. Today, we're in the burbs. We are in the suburbs. The extreme southwest of the world surrounds Briarwood to the west and south. So there's two towns to the south of Briarwood and two towns to the west of Briarwood that I would argue, given the false history that I'm creating for all of these towns, you could argue they are technically suburbs of Briarwood rather than their own communities. And we are as far south as we can get in the extreme southwest today. We'll be exploring all four of those towns and just briefly touching on Briarwood because not a lot has changed in Briarwood. But we are straight south of Briarwood, down two spots in the town of Lake Lauren. And a lot has changed since we were here last. This will be the National Aquarium. So there's still a lot to do here, but basically what you're looking at, this right here, there's going to be a main entrance, and this is kind of the main atrium, and it sits over what will be considered a porpoise tank. Harbor porpoises. There will be a separate dolphin exhibit, but given the limited amount of creatures in Minecraft, I say that as if there aren't 50 creatures already in Minecraft, but these are harbor porpoises, and there's its own kind of exhibit and viewing area down below, but the main lobby or the main atrium of this aquarium sits here. That's going to be a ticket window, so people can view these animals for free without buying tickets and going through. I have a whole map kind of built out. This is an aquarium I designed when I was like 14 or 15. I've had in my phone with notes at the different exhibits and how they're supposed to be designed for over 10 years. Probably, let's see that. Yeah, just about 10 years. So you go from the main lobby then into an exhibit which is the top of a reef, and I will build this out eventually. You can't see anything when you're actually in the water. It drives my wife crazy. She says that's the dumbest thing about Minecraft. I don't think it's the dumbest thing about Minecraft, but she doesn't like that you can see water better when you're not in water, and I'm like, that's kind of how water actually is already. But anyways, a lot of fish. I will put coral in there eventually, but they're all surrounding the center of the tank, and so it's really hard for me to do that at the moment. There will be a lower platform too. So basically, the aquarium has two levels. You go through the entire top level of the aquarium, and then you go down a level, and then there's different exhibits on the bottom of the aquarium as well. From there, you go into kind of this touch tank area. In my original design, it's stingrays and like horseshoe crabs and that sort of thing, but obviously you can't do that in Minecraft. So I have pufferfish, which you probably shouldn't touch, and cod. And then this is like a penguin and polar bear type experience. So I have polar bears over here with some salmon in their little tank. And then if Minecraft ever adds penguins, I might actually build an additional penguin exhibit over here. But then there's a whole bunch of other exhibits that I will build eventually, but this will be the site of the National Aquarium. I do apologize. I'm catching a cold. I have really bad fall allergies, and my nose is very obviously clogged as I narrate this video. But this right here is called Dayton Yards, I think is what I've named it. So as kind of an insult to Orioles fans, because this is based on Camden Yards, or Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, with the outfields flipped like I do with all my ballparks. I have the field shape with the circular first and third bases and red and navy seat and wall design or colors that I've stolen from the Boston Red Sox, just kind of as an insult to Oriole fans. But like I said, the outfields are flipped. So the big warehouse would be behind here. I haven't decided yet if I actually want to design it or just have the view be these stadiums behind it. Small video board, which I might expand, but I kind of like the charm of the really small video board in Baltimore. I also haven't decided whether or not I want to do anything with the outfield batter's eye. There isn't anything in Baltimore, but it would be cool to have trees here. A double deck bullpen there, and then there you see the expansion of the upper deck, which will eventually swing around this entire park. But that, like I said, is Dayton Yards, home of the Lake Lauren. Let's see, they just got promoted to Tier 1 baseball. The Mermen, I believe, is the name of that team there. Here you see an arena that will be very odd in shape for the sake of it's going to have very steep ends and very, very wide sides, creating kind of this octagonal shape that you don't usually see in arenas. They're usually kind of ovular or circular or rectangular. They're not really octagons the way this one has turned out to be, given how steep it is. But this will have teal seats. This venue here is called, let me find it on my little chart. We are in Lake Lauren, and this one is called the Greyhound Center. It's based on the United Center in Chicago, but with teal seats, obviously, instead of I think they have red seats at the United Center. And then over here is Progressive Park. So this will be based on kind of a mix, actually. Mostly State Farm Stadium in Phoenix or Glendale, Arizona. A little bit of Cowboys Stadium or AT&T Stadium in Arlington, but it's going to have alternating black and gray seats. Currently set up for soccer. This is home to the American football team, the Lake Lauren Kraken, and Lake Lauren FC, the soccer team. But it'll have this kind of implied roll out the field through this back end zone. So temporary seats behind this end zone here. An open end with the scoreboard here. It'll have kind of an open end on that side, but not quite to the extreme as this one. But then, like I said, it'll have that kind of striped gray and black seat pattern there. But those are the three stadiums, or three venues, and the National Aquarium in Lake Lauren. So as the sun goes down, let's go back to our high-speed rail system and travel north to Jevolette. Jevolette is slightly underdeveloped compared to the rest of the town. Well, I shouldn't say that. The last time we did this video, Valnestor wasn't even built yet. Like, there was nothing in Valnestor. So you are seeing Valnestor for the first time in this video. Applaud, please. Or Jeb Bush, please clap. But Jevolette is also kind of underdeveloped. I know for certain we've started at least 2 of the 3 venues. We had one of the venues last time, and I've started building it a little more. It's very steep because the baseball stadium is, I think it's called Barclays Field, and it's based on Chase Field in Phoenix, the home of the Diamondbacks. And so it's got this big center field scoreboard. The seats are going to be brown instead of green. And there you see it slowly starting to appear on the right side here. But it's got this super steep kind of rear foul area section, or upper deck, I suppose is the word I'm looking for there. I haven't built any corporate signage there. But there you see the contrast between the light blue, kind of sky blue fencing and accents, and then the brown seats here. So it'll have a pretty, what's the opposite of steep? You know the word I'm looking for. Very kind of shallow lower level, and then a club level here, boxes here, and then a 2-level upper deck, which goes super high. It's like 25 levels, I believe. So super steep. This is based, like I said, on Chase Field in Phoenix. I haven't decided if I want to imply a retractable roof or not yet, or if I want to have it look kind of weird being an outdoor stadium. There's the bones of an arena there. So not a lot going there. The Jevolette Thorns is the name of the hockey team, and the, let's see, the basketball team is called the Jevolette Ranchers. And so they both share pink as a common color. The Thorns have pink and green. The Ranchers have pink and gray. So it's got these light pink seats. This will be based on Le Centre Bell in Montreal, or the Bell Center. And I'm calling it the Deutsche Telekom Center, or T-Mobile Center, essentially. But because we're in Switzerland, they wouldn't call it T-Mobile in Switzerland. They would call it just Telekom, or Deutsche Telekom is the name of T-Mobile in German-speaking countries, which I just found out, so that's why I've changed that. This here will be based on Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. It'll have that same pinwheel shape, but this is home of the Jevolette Scorpions, as well as the Jevolette Chandlers soccer team. It'll have alternating black and lime green seats, but this is called BMW Stadium, like I said, based on Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So those are the 3 slowly developing stadiums in Jevolette. We move up to Briarwood now, and like I said, we're not going to spend a ton of time in Briarwood. Not a lot has actually changed, despite the fact that it is kind of the core city of this world. you could argue that it's growing a lot slower than any of the others, which is maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. For me, it means that I'm being a lot more, not progressive, but a lot more progress. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm being more progressive with the building in all of the other towns. I'd like them all to kind of grow at the same pace, at least until I get to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, this town should be this size. This town should be this size in comparison to all the other ones. Zaxton is obviously going to be very big in comparison to the rest of them. It's based on Zurich in Switzerland, so it's going to be the largest city. Briarwood, obviously going to be very developed, being the capital city. And then I've decided I think Falcon City and Lancaster are going to be pretty developed too. Sharing is growing very fast. Garler's probably going to be pretty developed. Whereas all of the other ones are going to kind of grow more slowly. Not that I'm not interested in building them necessarily, but all of the other ones kind of... This is an exercise in world building, right? So apart from just building it physically in Minecraft, I've been developing a backstory for all of the town's histories, kind of how they were developed, the industries that went into them, all of their sports teams and the cultures behind their sports teams. It's a huge world building exercise that right now in these videos you are just seeing the Minecraft version of them. If you want to see the sports side of things, feel free to check out our weekly kind of sports live streams. They're not really live streams, but I basically just do playthroughs of sports video games using the teams that I've created for all of these different towns. There's 27 different towns based on the 26 cantons of Switzerland. As right now we fly through Sanford Park. This is basically done. The only thing I have to do with Sanford Park is finish this party deck over here, put in the actual staircases, not just these gaps in the staircases, but otherwise this stadium is basically done. There you see BFC for Briarwood Football Club. It says Briarwood in the upper deck there. And then, if you can see it, the different decks spell out Herz und Seele, which I probably butchered the pronunciation of, but that's German for heart and soul, which is the slogan that I've created, or the words that I've created for Briarwood FC. They own this stadium in comparison to some of these other cities where the stadium is co-owned, or maybe the football team was there first, that sort of thing. But Briarwood FC definitely owns Sanford Park. But like I said, this with 27 different towns, and each one having 5 different teams, that is what, 125 plus 10, 135 if I did my math correctly, 135 different teams that I've created logos for, color schemes for, backstories for, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's kind of a passion of mine right now at the moment, and I think my wife is a little frustrated by that, to be honest with you, that I've been spending so much time building this world in my free time, not just on Minecraft, but just in general. Some media rooms here. No necessary. This is just kind of a guest color scheme here. But the blue, the light blue and black that is currently not used by any Major League Baseball team. This specific light blue, I suppose, it's more of a dull baby blue than the electric blue that the Marlins use. It used to be the color scheme of the Toronto Blue Jays, but it is currently not used by any team. The thing I wanted to point out in Briarwood is this. Best Buy Field is virtually complete. The only thing I have to do here is build the individual box suites. I actually didn't carve out the upper deck behind home plate here, so I need to do that. And then there's going to be a couple different clubs. You see just grass sitting there. These will be bars and clubs on the field level. But everything else essentially about Best Buy Field is done. And then just completing the roof structure there. So here's the outfield section. That'll be the home bullpen. These trees are a lot bigger than they should be. Outfield bar. This is all stuff you've probably seen before, but I did finish the visitors bullpen, which sits underneath these seats here. That's that. And then, of course, up here you see the structure that the wall, the glass curtain wall, and the roof will slide upon to eventually create kind of this closed off retractable feel, or the dome feel when it is actually closed. And then I suppose we can go through Midco Arena real quick, just touch on that one as well before going to the west. So really, really, really rough looking Swiss flags right there. Signage for Midco Arena. I mentioned in the last video we were here, Midco is in the town that I grew up in, Midco is a cable provider. I grew up in North Dakota. Midco is a cable provider for North and South Dakota and a few other states. I don't know if it touches Minnesota. I think it does touch Montana and Iowa. I may be wrong about that. But this has actually become one of the rougher looking arenas. Compared to some other ones, you can tell that my style of building has gotten better, or at least my sense of scale has gotten a lot better. I just think this looks really, really rough in comparison to some of the other arenas that I have built in this world. But let's go back to Central Station here, and then we'll head west to the final two suburbs. So this was Briarwood. I can't remember what I was touching on when we went into Stanford Park. But exercise in world building. I'm trying to backtrack my thoughts here without having to stop the video, go back, and then paste the two together in post. But anyways, we're going to head to Falcon City next. Falcon City is developing very, very quickly, which I'm happy about. I think I might have been saying something about all the other towns have stadium designs that I'm not as like fascinated by necessarily. They're all stadiums I want to build, don't get me wrong, but like Briarwood and Lansiter, Charing, Garler, Zaxton, Falcon City all have stadiums that I love. Like, I'm super into the design of those stadiums specifically. So the fact that I get to replicate them in Minecraft makes me very, very happy. And so that's why I've been hyper-focusing some of my attention on all of these. Valnestor, like I was talking about, we didn't see it in the last video, so you'll be seeing it for the first time here. I think only one of those stadiums has been built so far. I might have started on a second one, but you'll see kind of how slowly that one is coming along. It feels very underdeveloped, much like the southeast of this world. Oh man, the pollen is so bad. I'm recording this at the end of August, and so we're starting to get to that point where I live, where the trees are turning and like all of the leaves are falling, and there's just dust everywhere. Like, my hands are filthy when I come home, and there's just dust on all of our cars, and it's killing my throat right now, and you can probably hear it in the way that I'm talking. But anyways, Falcon City, over in this direction, that's that start of Disney World that I will probably get to in 15 years if I'm lucky. Not any rush to get to Disney World, in my opinion, to be honest with you. But here is Aldi Park. So I don't have any corporate signage yet, but the shell of this stadium is basically done. I just have to work on all of the seating. And like I said, that corporate signage. I kind of screwed up with this one. This is the only team in the entire world to share a name with another team professionally that shares that sport, if that makes any sense, right? So I've used I've used the team name Rangers, I've used the team name Penguins, but not for their respective sports. So like I'm so sorry, I just dropped my microphone. So like the Penguins in this world are a football team. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. I dropped my microphone during recording. That's awesome. I did it twice. Okay, balancing my microphone. I'm recording these in my living room. That's why I'm having this trouble. Anyways, back to professionalism. So the Penguins are a football team. The Rangers, I think, are I can't remember. But anyway, so if I've stolen a professional sports team name, it is not for a team that plays that sport, if that makes any sense. The only exception is right here with the Falcon City Blue Jays. The Blue Jays obviously being a baseball team. So, and they actually have the same color scheme as they used to, which, whoops. But light blue and black, it's the same colors as Briarwood, but this team uses blue more than black, as opposed to the Briarwood Generals using black over blue, and it's a different shade of blue. This is more of an electric blue like Miami. There's a Western Supply Metal Company. Obviously, outfield is flipped. And then I've added, so Petco Park, which is what this is based on, in San Diego, has kind of these light towers down the first and third base lines. And I've decided to make 4 of them rather than just 2 and put them in the corners of all of these as support systems for the canopy. So anyways, this is Aldi Park. It's probably my favorite ballpark that I've built so far. It's nowhere near as complete as Briarwood for obvious reasons. If those reasons weren't obvious, it's because I started Briarwood first. But this is Aldi Park, and I'm very happy with the progress that this one is having and coming along with. Over here, to our right, that is a new building since last time, I believe. But this one here is, I think, Ferrari Field. I want to say Ferrari is the corporate sponsor of this one, but this one is based on Ford Field in Detroit. Teal seats. Probably not a lot has changed since the last time we were here. I haven't really updated this one. I'm just kind of slowly building it from the ground up. And then over here, this is based on Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, home of the Cavaliers. So it's got this curtain wall that they've added in renovations in the last few years that I am basically just, I'll probably add some detail, like some columns to kind of offset just this big glass curtain wall. But obviously City Financial is the sponsor of City Place. I'm really happy with how that turned out. That actually looks like the City logo. I'm very happy about that. Yellow seats on the inside. So each color in Minecraft, the way I've kind of separated all of these color systems for the different stadiums is basically at random for the different cities. But each arena, or more specifically, each colored block, so like this is red concrete, so each color of concrete will be used in a baseball stadium, in a football stadium, and in an arena separately on all different parts of this world, because there's enough cities where I can do that for all of them, right? So that's kind of why you're seeing so many different colors. That's why like some of them have this weird pink color for, like, why would you put pink seats in an arena? Well, that's why, is because I'm kind of separating all of them. And actually, show you how little developed Valnestor is. There isn't a side wall for the transit system on this side, so we're going to have to tuck to this side. But you guys are seeing, to end this video for the first time, Valnestor. And so the big stadium in Valnestor, it's a multi-purpose stadium with 3 teams. And I'm basing it off of Rogers Centre, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto. It's kind of the most distinct building in the city. And I think I've called it the Verizon Center. Not to be confused with the Verizon Center in Washington, which is now known as Capital One Arena, which used to be home to the Wizards and the Capitals, and if you want to be pedantic about women's sports, the Washington Mystics. But that name is currently open in terms of professional sports, but I've also changed the spelling of it to the European spelling, to the R before E. I've done that with all of the different venues that use the word center in this world. And hopefully we're not too far. I can't imagine it's that much longer, but you should start seeing, there it is right there, the corporate signage for the Verizon Center on this left side here. And then over here, we'll touch on this one briefly, because I did start building the bones of, oh, hi, Cal. I did start building the bones of an arena over here, and this is, let's see, where is Valnestor on my little chart here? Oh, sweet, it's a, yes. I'm building it with a WWE rig. That is awesome. I've totally forgotten I've done that. Props to me. Good for me. This is called Alien Arena. Alien is a car company that I made up, and it's got this little green alien guy as the logo. But this is based on the American Airlines Center in Dallas. So it's a multi-purpose stadium. What I like doing with all of these arenas is, if I'm basing it off of a specific hockey arena, I want to put a basketball court in the middle of it. If I'm basing it off of a specific basketball arena, I want to put a hockey rink in the middle of it. For this one, since it's already both, I wanted to do something else, whether it be a concert or boxing, or in this case, this is set up for WWE. So I will put one of, like a Titantron right here, eventually. But this will be based on American Airlines Center in Dallas. And over here, you see the Verizon Center. So it's got this big oval shape to it, just like the Rogers Center in Toronto. This is home to the Valnestor Farmers, is the baseball team. The Valnestor Courtiers is the football team, the American football team. and Sporting Valnestor is the soccer team. So it'll have, like I said, an oval shape. It'll take me forever to build because it is round. And then it's going to have just a dome structure here to imply that it is a retractable dome. And then it's got the Swiss flag, the flag of Valnestor, which is based on the canton of Vaud. So it's got the Vaud flag there. And then the rough logo of the farmers, the rough logo of the courtiers, and the rough logo of Sporting Valnestor right there in terms of flags. This is the center field at the one end zone, so it's based on the center field hotel, or actually the center field restaurant, I suppose, in Rogers Center, and then the hotel you'll see on the sides here of the video board. But that right there is the Verizon Center. Slow progress being made in Valnestor, but you're seeing slow progress being made around the world. We'll touch on all of these and continue to circle around kind of on a weekly basis. So there should be links in the bottom, whatever corner of your screen as this video comes to a close. But until next time, we will see you very, very soon.